I'm gonna kill. Okay, can you cut that out, Roger? Hello everyone, welcome back to Open Arms Reactions. My name's Casper Fox, this is Mortius, and today we are back with more RWBY.
We are continuing our way through Volume 3, Chapter 8. Well, continuing our way through Volume 3 with Chapter 8, Destiny. Now, this one is a fun one that I've definitely been excited to get to. It is interesting because I feel like a lot of the predictions that you had last episode are still going to apply, because how could you have seen the flashback episode coming, you know? So last episode, we kind of got a very interesting, very unexpected flashback of the assembly of Team Cinder and some confirmations about what exactly happened with Yang, how the semblances worked. But at the beginning of last episode, I asked you to give me some theories on, like, Yang and her false accusation and different things like that. None of that was resolved, so really I'm guessing it's all going to be pretty much the same. The only new information we really have is the fact that Emerald and Cinder are going back to Beacon without Mercury to make sure the next matchup goes equally smoothly. I know, right?
So, someone's gambling. Match fixing, right?
Match fixing. I mean, we already know that they're able to choose who fights each other, but since Mercury has already been their stand-in for the final round, even though they can choose who fights each other, they're still not going to be able to control something as crazy as what just happened, you know?
But I mean, I feel like so here's my crazy theory.
Okay.
If Cinder somehow knows that Piera is supposedly, maybe potentially, the new maiden,
Okay.
I would think that Yang gets disqualified for being violent, which
Fair.
means that the win goes to Team Cinder. Cinder steps in his place, in Mercury's place, and fights Piera in the final.
I see what you're saying.
try
So
to
the fact that
absorb her
Yang
power.
was disrespectful means that she would lose, and even though Mercury cannot go forward, they would still allow for a substitution from their team.
I would
really
think
smart
that, like,
thought.
if I was organizing this tournament, I would discuss it like for violent, what the fuck, violent happenings. There's a word, violent misconduct is the word I was looking for. And then just like in football, they would do that. Not the
Fair
American canned football. So we do that, and then she can absorb potentially, or see if Piera is the maiden. Maybe she has some way of activating
She's
it.
every fucking way. Cinder!
Peak reference.
All right, let's watch Chapter 8.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've left us with no choice.
But he
Expelled?
attacked me.
Video footage and millions of viewers say otherwise.
But Yang would never do that. Yeah.
That's not good
You
enough.
all seem like good students. And the staff here at Beacon are fully aware that you would never lash out the way you did, under normal circumstances. What I believe, and hope this to be, is nothing more than the result of stress and adrenaline. When you're out on the battlefield, your judgment can become clouded in an instant. Sometimes you see things that simply aren't there, even after the fight is past.
So I do
Nightmare.
like that they are kind of giving, like, a little bit of credit to her of, like, every staff member knows you well enough to know that this isn't you.
Yeah.
But we are also all experienced enough fighters to know that you're not always completely you on a battlefield.
Yeah,
and so
well, that was
I like that the
would
argument...
make sense.
Exactly. So it's they're not believing that what she saw actually happened, because why would they? But I do appreciate that even Ironwood is like, we all know this isn't normally you. You just goofed with adrenaline.
Literally, but also I feel like this is then a perfectly healthy balance of, like, so you obviously cannot continue in the tournament, but we're not gonna expel you.
Exactly.
I think it's like the healthy middle ground they might reach.
100%.
But I wasn't.
That's enough!
Okay, bro.
The sad truth is, whether it was an accident or an assault, it doesn't matter. The world saw you attack an innocent student. They've already drawn their own conclusions. And it's my job to inform you that you're disqualified.
Yep.
You guys believe me, right? Duh. You're hot-headed, but not ruthless.
Fire. Blake.
Blake?
What? Nah. Nah. Because this is where I would expect Schnee to be like, well, I'm an entitled bitch, but no
Well,
Blake.
to be fair, I think, well, Blake's going to explain it in a second, but Schnee,
'Cause
she
she's
would
racist.
have, like, early on, she would have in Volume 1, but, like, she
Yes.
basically already had exactly that arc with Blake, which I think is why
Yes.
she kind of feels this way. I also do want to
Okay.
point out that the background piano, the dun 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 dun, is the born with no life into subjugation. It's Blake's song from
Motives.
Shadows. Yeah.
Peak.
And so it's
I
interesting
assume this is
that in
because
here
Blake,
we
Blake
get
is racist.
Blake's motif over Yang's in this moment.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting. No life into subjugation.
I want to believe you.
Huh? What's
Man.
that supposed to mean?
Blake?
Oh.
I know, right?
How can you say something like that? Yang would never lie to us.
I had someone very dear to me change. It wasn't in an instant, it was gradual. Little choices that began to pile up. He told me not to worry. At first they were accidents, then it was self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Before long, even I began to think he was right.
They began
Okay,
as
so
accidents, then self-defense.
So she's projecting, and that's
Yes.
really, really toxic.
Yes.
That's really well.
Wow. I mean, it is toxic and it is unhealthy, but also I do understand, like, that trauma response. Yang doesn't deserve to bear the brunt of it, but I also don't completely hold it against Blake to be like, just in her mind, she's like, the last time I looked past someone doing something like this, they became Adam. That's her point. The last time I
But-
looked past this exact kind of thing, it led down a path that I almost couldn't come back
But-
from.
This is the first time Yang has done anything remotely close to this, right? So
Yes.
if this had been the second time Yang does something, I'm
okay.
with Blake 1000%. I can understand.
Interesting,
But that is just
okay.
crazy. That is
So,
like a nuts projection.
You're saying
I don't like
that it requires a second time to establish a concerning enough pattern for this to be justified.
Exactly.
But even
Yep.
even just two would be enough for you.
Well,
Even
'cause
if it was
I'm-
even if it was something like this that seemed so out of left field, a second one you would be like,
If-
all right, Blake, I understand.
If I am in Blake's situation here, and Yang has never ever
Yeah.
given me any reason to doubt her when it comes
Okay.
to stuff like this, then yes, I will give Yang one chance
Interesting.
and be like, okay.
Okay.
And then if it happens again, it's like, okay, well, I gave you a chance.
Now I see the pattern.
Now you fucked it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect
So-
that. I respect that. At first I was like, I don't feel like you're giving enough credit to, like, how, like, you can be like, the last time I let someone get away with this, it became something. But I do get what you're saying of, like, that shouldn't apply the
Well-
first time. I get it.
Because I still think that's like a bullshit reason, because that's it's projecting. It's similar to like if extreme thing, and there's a lot of psychological layers to it, but if you are beaten as a kid, you beat your kid because you were beaten as a kid. Like, in that point, to me, it doesn't help that you can just use, well, because this happened to me, then you are the exact same, and therefore my parameters apply to you. And also because Adam gradually changed.
Exactly.
So
but
after
this is
one,
this is the, like, sort of, not to also make, like, a really extreme example, but you're just saying, like, this happened to you, so you assume it's gonna happen, like, you assume it's gonna be something else. I think that's a little bit different because it's behavioral. Like, imagine if, God, I'm trying to think of an example that isn't as extreme as this, and I really can't think of something, so I'm just going to say it. But imagine, like, you were in a relationship that ended because someone was unfaithful, and then a new relationship happened where you found out they lied about where they were. I feel like even if it was the first time, if it was like, where were you? And you found out that where they said they were wasn't actually where they were, it would be the same reaction as Blake of, I want to believe you. and that's the thing.
Well,
She started with, I want to believe you, but the last time someone lied about where they were, it was because they were being unfaithful. Or I want to believe you, but last time someone called an unprovoked attack self-defense, they turned into a monster. I don't think it's fair to Yang, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, if Adam had, if it was one drastic thing, as in one thing that changed Adam, but she's saying here that it's gradual, right? So Adam didn't change after starting with that one accident. He was still, like, that was probably generally an accident or whatever, right? So here it's, to me, is that she is using, let's say that it took him 20 decisions to start becoming like a full monster, right? If it had been one decision, then I would understand Blake.
Okay.
But again, if it's gradually like it is, right? And especially like Yang, if like Yang is not stupid, right?
Yes.
Why the would Yang just all of a sudden attack a student like that? Even if it was for stress and blah, 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 and whatever, which is kind of, they're just in an arena, but.
Fair, I get what you're saying. This might just be the first, this might be the first big, like, actual structural thematic media analysis we just straight up don't agree on, which is okay. That's why media's fun. That's why I love doing this channel. We have different opinions on things, but I think she's more valid than you do, frankly. But that's okay. Let's see where it goes.
Let's do it.
This is all just very familiar.
It's a trauma response.
But you're not him. And you've never done anything like this before. So, I want to trust you. I will trust you. But first, I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me that he attacked you. I need you to promise me that you regret having to do what you did.
I saw him attack me, so I attacked back.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Now I agree with you. We should have waited a little bit, because now I fully agree with you.
I still stand by what I said with only that content. I was only taking what she had already said into account as someone who has had a really hard time moving past previously noticed patterns in really bad relationships and friendships. So I knew where it was going. I knew you would be on her side. My point of view still stood based on what she had already said and that initial expression of distrust, believe it or not. But it's okay that you don't. And I agree with you that the way it ended is much better.
We'll get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
She doing okay?
The goat.
She's doing the best she can.
I heard Mercury and his team rush back to Haven to be with his family. So, until they land, no one can really question him about what happened.
If there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to ask.
He's
Conveniently on a long flight to be unable to.
Pyrrha? You be sure to win one for Beacon, okay? It's what Yang would want.
Pyrrha's going through her own stuff right now.
I'll do
For
my
real.
best.
Oh, honey. Putting on that brave face.
Here to watch tonight in case you're picked.
Sorry, but I think I've had enough fighting for 1 year.
Ditto. Coffee?
Tea.
Just thought this seemed like a perfect segue.
Like this delicious
Use
tea from
Coke.
the Gilded
Absolute cinema.
Absolute peak. Check out the Gilded Tiefling, our incredible sponsor. Genuinely, they have incredible tea that is some of my favorites. The only reason that Casper doesn't have it with him is because Gilded Tiefling is so good that he drank his entire sponsorship box in like 3 weeks, and they haven't sent him more because he lives like I live like 5 hours south of them. Casper lives like 8 time zones away from them.
Like an ocean.
He hasn't gotten more tea, which is the only reason he doesn't have more. Because it was so good, he already drank it all. But just know that we both genuinely stand by this product. It gets us through most reactions. My code for my solo channel is Mortius, which is $2 off whatever my highlighted tea of the month is. If it's June, that is the Enchanted Oasis. If you're watching after the fact, check my socials. But no matter what, you can use our code, Relax My Friend, for free shipping off $50 or more, and you can use those codes on the same order, so definitely consider doing so.
Hell yeah.
What's
My
up?
code is TSPER. Absolute fucking peak.
But doesn't your code do the same thing as the Open Arms code?
Yeah, but can you stack them?
No. How would you stack
No?
free shipping? Would you like free shipping
Double free
twice?
shipping.
You know what? Use both codes. Get 2 free shippings. It won't
Okay.
do anything, but see what it does and send
Yeah.
us a screenshot. Let's keep going.
You heard the lady. No
Oh
more
my
moping around.
What is this?
Get your butt in shape for the big fight. It could be today. It could be the most important fight of your entire life.
Nora's right. You can't let your concern for Yang hold you.
Please do nothing to the cook is crazy,
I
man.
love him. We love some good, like, even
My God.
subtle, like, pseudo-ace representation. Like, props to Please Do Nothing to the Cook is absolute peak.
You can't let your concern for Yang hold you back. You need to focus. You'll be defending the honor of Beacon Academy.
Of
Man.
course.
No pressure.
Because, I don't know if you actually, like, cognitively noticed, but we saw the lineup of 8 finalists. Yang and Pyrrha were the only Beaconites.
Oh, well.
The other ones, we still knew some other we still knew some other characters, like I think Sun or Neptune was in the finals.
Surely, son.
Yeah, I think so. So I think Sun was in the finals, I think Penny was in the finals, but they are both representing other schools. So even though there are other
Right.
characters that we know in these finals, Pyrrha is now the only one who could actually win a trophy for Beacon when Beacon is hosting. So, you know.
Very nice.
Vegetables is filled with nutrients vital to your body's well-being.
Oh, that's.
You know what else is filled with nutrients vital to your well-being?
Thank you. Ugh, that looks like
Nice.
slime from a lake bed.
Algae
Yeah.
contains numerous spectacular properties. See for yourself.
What is wrong with you? Oh,
Me? You're the one that wasted perfectly good juice.
I love him!
Aye.
not poison her.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with that.
If it looks the same coming up as it does going down, then there's something wrong.
There's nothing wrong with corn.
Jesus.
How about we all get some fresh air?
Hell yeah.
Jean noticed that she was getting overwhelmed. My overstimulated queen. I feel you.
This is so sad.
Hey there, Firecracker.
Oh.
Hey, Crow.
So that was
Hey
interesting.
there, Firecracker.
I know, I love his
Well,
voice. Even though
he's
his voice
goated.
is gonna change. Hey, no fighting in the comment section, because I know there are some people who are real grumpy about things. Just so you know, in case you see something in the comment section or notice, I want to say at volume 4 it changes, maybe 5, but Crow's voice actor is going to change because this current voice actor, while incredible, did have some pretty yucky accusations against him by female coworkers, co-stars, and things like that. I acknowledge that nothing could be officially confirmed and understand why people would be upset about that. And I still stand with the people who made those things because it is so hard to be brave like that when things happen. And so I stand with the people saying these things and still acknowledge that there is a moral gray area to replacing someone when accusations could not be confirmed. I acknowledge both
Right.
and still stand with the alleged victims. That is my soapbox. But for now, even though he might not be a good person, voice is fire. I almost want to point out something, but I'm not going to if you don't notice it on your own.
Hey there, Firecracker.
Hey, Crow.
So, why'd you do it?
You know why.
All I know is that you attacked a helpless kid. So either you're
Bro.
lying or you're crazy.
I'm not lying.
Crazy. Got it.
It's like me for real.
Who knows? Maybe I am.
I mean, imagine being Yang in this situation, trying to, like, rationalize if that's actually what happened.
Here I thought your dark friend was the emo one.
I saw my mom.
Oh yeah.
I was in a lot of trouble. Took a pretty hard hit. But when I came to, the person attacking me was gone. And I thought I saw her. Her sword. Like the one in you and Dad's old picture.
You're not crazy, Yang.
Interesting.
That was your mom, all right. Let me guess. She didn't say a word, did she?
How did you know that?
I don't see my sister very often, but she does try to keep in touch. Whenever.
All right. I don't see my sister often. We now officially have the actual family tree you were a little bit trying to figure out. Let's go back. We're at 142.28. Let me...
I don't
Go back
remember
to-
what I like predicted. Wait, maybe Roger, you can put up what my prediction was back then.
So
that's
what
Yang's
we
mom
have
right there.
is, yes, so we know that Ruby and Yang are half-sisters with their dad, so that
So
then
mom, dad, mom.
confirms, yes, Ruby mom, both dad, Yang mom, and then Uncle Crow, who, fascinatingly enough, is not actually technically Ruby's uncle, we now
Ruby's
know.
uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Crow is not related to Taeyang or Summer. So obviously,
Damn.
just familiarly, he still exists as an uncle to her in a very important way. But technically, there isn't blood relation between Crow and Ruby in this case. It's just those three there because we now know Crow and... Have we gotten Mom's name? We did, right?
If we did, I don't remember.
Okay, then I'm not going to say it just in case we didn't. But yes, we now know that these two are related. We know her name starts with an R because we got STRQ. So we know Summer, Taeyang, R, Crow. But I'm not sure if we got it.
Raven.
There we go. Cool. Yes, we did get that. Or you just... Wait, was that a guess? Oh, no! I thought I activated a memory!
You might have? Roger, did we get that confirmed
Who
yet?
knows,
Please
man?
let me know.
Either way, let's keep it going. Good lord.
Her sword.
I don't see my sister very often, but she does try to keep in touch. Whenever it suits her.
Wait, you mean you talked to her? That was real?
Yeah, she found me. Had a tip from my most recent assignment, and wanted me to give you a message.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I'm gonna distract you from the
For
tournament.
the right time. And this sure ain't it. But I guess you deserve to know. She wanted me to tell you that she saved you once. But you shouldn't expect that kindness again.
Okay. Nice mother.
Raven's got
Yep.
an interesting way
There
of
we go.
looking at
Okay, cool. Even if we hadn't got it confirmed, I only spoiled it by a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Raven.
I don't particularly agree with. And she's dangerous.
My friend.
Hey, kiddo. Shouldn't let this tournament thing get you down. You had a slip up. Sometimes bad things just happen. I say it's time you move on.
Move on to what?
Well, Raven let some info slip before she took off. If you ever want to track her down, I think I might be able to help.
Oh. Oh, Pura. God, this lighting design is crazy.
This is probably one of the prettiest scenes in the whole show, honestly. Or at least, like, before they, like, really go crazy with the visuals in, like, Volume 6. Definitely of the first three, this scene is just visually, the lighting, the design. Look at this, like, leaf come down.
Damn.
As she's processing, taking on Fall's power, seeing a leaf break off from a tree and land.
It's no green goo. Do some good.
Peak! Jean Peak for real.
Right.
His last name is for real.
Oh my god.
Now, Keith.
Oh, we need another something.
Is it gonna happen now?
You were the first person to ever believe in me. You know that? Even when I told my parents I was going to Beacon, they told me not to worry if I ended up having to move back home.
Yeah.
How depressing is that?
I'm sure they didn't mean...
You dropped your cotton candy.
I don't think that should be your biggest takeaway.
I'm just trying to say that you've always been there for me, even when I didn't deserve it. And I can tell there's something on your mind, so I don't know. How can I help?
Best boy, Jean.
You're already doing it.
How can I
That's
help? You're already doing it.
Aww,
Best
the cotton candy.
Best ship in the show. Best couple in the show.
Oh my
Arcos
God.
till the day
What
I
is-
die.
what is
Love
their-
these two.
What's their ship name?
Arcos.
Ship name again? Of course. Cutie. Kui Pokor.
Sean,
Oh.
I don't know what to
Aw.
What do you mean?
do. Do you believe in destiny?
I don't know.
That's the name of the episode.
Depends on how you view it.
When I think of destiny, I don't think of a predetermined fate you can't escape, but rather some sort of final goal. Something you work towards your entire life.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can see that, sure.
Well, what would you do if something came along that you never expected? Something that had the potential to stand between you and your destiny.
Like what?
Or what if you could suddenly fulfill your destiny in an instant, but at the cost of who you were?
Pyrrha, you're not making any sense.
Nah, men for helvede.
This isn't how things were supposed to happen.
Because he's gonna think that.
I'm just trying to understand what's wrong.
I've always felt as though I was destined to become a huntress, to protect the world. And it's become increasingly clear to me that my feelings were right. But
What?
I don't know if I can do it.
Damn.
And what if you can fulfill your destiny in an instant, but at the cost of who you are? Because they even mentioned, like, if we combine your aura and hers, we don't know what that does to
Doors
you.
to say what
We don't
happens,
know
yeah.
what becomes of you.
Oh no. Oh
This is
no.
heavy. This is heavy.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
The Pyrenicos I know would never back down from a challenge. And if you really believe it's your destiny to save the world, you can't let anything stand in your way. Pyrrha?
Stop.
Is the wrong thing to say?
Of course, he
Stop.
couldn't possibly know that. He couldn't
No.
possibly know that that would be the worst thing to say. But literally, think about as he put his hand on her. So obviously, what she was debating was like, could I give this up for that? And then he stood up and said, if this is your destiny, you can't. He basically was like, don't let me stand in your way. When he said, don't let anything stand in your way, he basically was like, choose that over me, without knowing that that's what he was saying.
Oh boy. Just tell him.
Stop.
Did I say something wrong?
Stop!
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Pyrrha, wait!
Man, I hate when they do that.
Isn't that
The
tragic?
f- I mean, you run away.
I mean, just,
Bruh,
I mean,
'cause
they're teenagers.
She
they're
can
children.
manipulate. She can manipulate
Metal.
That's her.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool, cool, cool.
Polarity.
Yeah, good. I was just making sure this wasn't like oh she has the maiden power, but no. It's just
No.
resemblance.
Just
Yeah,
resemblance. You can see the
Yeah,
black
yeah,
glow
yeah.
around it. And look at like the
Yeah,
crack
the
in the
glow.
pillar. I mean, Jean has to be post-concussive at this point, which explains the character assassination he gets in later volumes. Anyways, I don't have opinions.
What did I say? Poor boy.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Wait, pause. Can you go back a little bit? You got what a fucking chat. You see that guy right there? Oh my god. Bro has been mewing since he was born. That's crazy.
I thought you were gonna highlight how bright her eyes were, and I was like, there's actually a reason for that. That's an indicator of faunus. That's one of the potential faunus traits. I thought you were focusing on bright green there. I did not notice super chat there. That's hilarious. That might be the first thing in RWBY that you have actually pointed out that I've just straight up never noticed before. I think anytime...
The animation era on Emerald. Remember that with her guns were still in her thingy while she was fighting with them?
You're right. Okay, two things. The gun error, and then every time I've rewatched this scene, I have either been focused on Ruby's facial expressions or the crazy bright eyes. I have never noticed this mega Chad man. Dear Lord.
He's chewing testosterone.
Ruby, how you going?
Hi, Velvet. What are you?
How you going?
Oh, you know, just working on my photography. Do you want to see?
Hmm.
Sorry to hear about your sister. Is she doing okay?
Yeah.
What? What?
Do you want to see? Shows picture of son's crotch. By the way, sorry about your sister. Anyway, look at this.
Wait. No, do you not realize what she was actually highlighting? It's a shot of his weapon, my dude. She wasn't just shooting his midsection.
Yeah, that's what I said. Son Wukong. Bro's got a weapon. He for sure is packing.
Oh, Lord.
I'm gonna okay. Can you cut that out, Roger?
You keep that in, Roger. Don't you even dare, even consider letting Casper escape that.
They gave me my own apartment so I could be noisy. That was a wrong choice.
I'm sorry to hear about your sister. Is she doing okay?
Unbelievable.
She's fine. Thanks.
I think it's just awful what people are saying about her.
Awful.
Being such a nice person.
Huh. Well, I'm glad someone thinks so.
Most people don't know what it's like on the battlefield. I mean, even experienced fighters can get scared and start seeing things. If it happened to Coco, it can happen to anyone.
Coco?
Coco.
Yeah. She swore she saw Yatsu with her in the forest during the fight with Emerald and Mercury, but he never even made it out of the Geyser fields. Stress-induced
That is very interesting.
hallucinations, apparently.
Yeah.
Stress-induced hallucinations, apparently. Interesting. Huh.
Oh, sorry.
Love her. Love Velvet. Love her camera gimmick so much. It just fills me with joy.
Emerald's here?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally the logo of my bank. What the fuck? Hello?
All right, it's now time to begin the randomization.
The randomization process.
Oh, hell yeah. No, because that could be a mind trick.
Like our first contender is Penny Polendina from Atlas.
Penny?
What are you doing?
And her opponent will be Kira Nikos from Bacon.
I think my theory was right.
No.
Ooh, polarity versus metal. That could be bad.
Please don't.
Did you see what happened
Just run
with
away.
Ruby?
Her scythe is not
She
there.
does not have her weapon.
Uh-oh. Run.
Chapter 9, PvP.
That's nuts. That's just gonna be one giant fight scene.
Or it's going to be one specific fight scene. Penny versus Pyrrha.
Ah!
So,
Potassium.
the fight that Emerald is there to make sure goes the way they want is Penny Paulendina and Pyrrha Nikos.
Damn. Penny's name kind of sucks. Paulatina? Like the worst Smash Bros. Character ever.
Penny Paulendina. I forget the exact, like, how
Penny
you say it, but
Pinocchio.
it's close to that.
Thank you guys for watching.
Pinocchio. Thank you. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm sure you have a couple of thoughts, but we'll save them for the start of next episode. So for now, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting our RWBY series. And if your name is Daniel, you are now legally obligated to go to gildedtiefling.com and buy some tea with our codes. I will make the rules. I just live with them. And as always, greet the world with open arms, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
We're watching, Daniel. Do it.
Fire. Perfect outro.
Great.